Welcome to the Town Board meeting, Thursday, June 16th, 2016. Please rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to have a moment of silence for the passing of Debbie Downey, who was one of the families who have lived here for generations and have been involved in many aspects of the Town of Amenia organizations. Emergency exits are to my right, behind the town attorneys, and also on the right, on the door you came in. Roll, please.
Councilman Delango?
Here.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Here.
Councilman Doyle?
Here.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Here.
Councilman Gutierrez will be absent this evening.
Okay, before we have public comment, I wanted to go over our rules of procedure for public comment. At a meeting of the Town Board, the Town of Amenia held at Amenia Town Hall on the 27th day of February 2013, Town Supervisor Victoria Perotti called the meeting to order. Whereas the Town Board, as part of the Board's rules of procedure, may include regarding public participation, Town Law Sections 33, OML, AO 2974, rules pertaining to public participation typically indicate at one point during the meeting public comment will be permitted. The rules might also include the amount of time each person may speak and whether they may speak on any issue or just issues on the agenda. In addition, the Committee on Open Government has noted that the Town Board could clearly adopt rules to prevent verbal interruptions, shouting, and other outbursts, as well as slanderous or obscene language or signs and movements during the meeting in order to ensure an orderly meeting and provide the clear ability for those in attendance to hear and observe the discussions and proceedings. The public may speak only during the Amenia Town Board meeting's public comment period, and at any other time a majority of the Town Board allows. The public comment period at the conclusion of Amenia Town Board meeting is reserved for general comments or concerns. Speakers must limit their remarks to 5 minutes. Speakers may not yield any remaining time to another speaker. Speakers must be recognized by the supervisor or other presiding officer. Speakers must stand at the podium. Speakers must give their name, address, and organization. If applicable, all remarks must be addressed to the Amenia Town Board as a body and not to individual Town Board members. Speakers must observe rules of courtesy and not engage in verbal interruption, shouting, other outbursts, as well as slanderous or obscene language or signs and movement. Is there any public comment?
No one signed up.
Okay, supervisors report. The Old Amenia landfill, the easement required by the DEC has been filed with DEC Council last week, and we're waiting for the DEC Commissioner to sign the environmental easement on behalf of the people of the state of New York. Once he has signed and returned it and signed tax transfer forms to Attorney Kimberly Ray, we will record it with Dutchess County. The other item that we are working on in order to close out the Old Amenia landfill, tonight we will be doing a resolution to authorize issuance of RFP. July 20th, proposals are due from engineering firms. July 25th, selection process interviews with proposing engineers at Sharon Town Hall. July 26th, Sharon Board of Selectmen meeting to authorize award of contract. And August 4th, Amenia Town Board meeting to authorize award of contract. It's set up in the consent order from the DEC that this is the way that we have to follow this process. However, going forward, the operation and maintenance of the landfill will be completely with the town of Sharon. They will be responsible for the post-closure monitoring as well as the landscaping. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that the senior picnic will be Saturday, June 30th at the Wasaik Firehouse. World of Food Catering will be doing the picnic. This is the company that the Wasaik Ladies Auxiliary uses for their chicken barbecue. And we have to cap the event at 120 people. So if you're interested, if you're 55 and over and interested in attending, you need to call 877-9430.
I think you have the date wrong on that.
This is, you know what?
Saturday, July 2nd is
No.
when the Hidden Gardens of Amenia tour is.
I said the 30th.
Yeah, you said Saturday, June 30th.
Right.
Saturday is July 2nd.
It's Saturday, July, the end of July,
Oh, July, okay,
not June.
okay,
I said July 30th. That's when it is.
okay, July.
That's when we reserve that's when,
Just want to make sure people get the right date there.
No, it's July 30th.
July, okay.
Okay? Town clerk report?
Good evening. The minutes of May 19th, June 2nd, and the bid opening of July 9th have all been distributed to the board. Has the board had the opportunity to review them? Quick yes, no?
I have not.
Okay, so we'll put it on for the next agenda. So everybody just, but they are available in the town clerk's office. The emergency response updated was sent originally to the board on April 20th, and I've resent it to the town board on June 10th. Has everybody had the opportunity to review what I've sent? At our meetings, what we found from Marco, he had a couple updates and revisions for the water sections, and under the content of addresses, we've made some minor changes. We went ahead and we updated the information for the county 911 that was provided us from Dana Smith. We updated the fact that it's no longer St. Francis, it's Mid-Hudson Regional. In Wasaik, the identification here in the town of Amenia, we reference, well, for the Amenia Fire Company, we reference them as the rescue squad captain. In Wasaik, they use car 3. Any areas of the document that were missing, a numeric, we updated that. And we added under 14.1, the Wasaik Fire Company, in addition to the Amenia Fire Company, imparts to the mutual aid plan. So those were the little tweaks that we made this year after the committee met twice. Car 4. So those are the only changes that are being presented. Just talked to Mark Christensen, just make sure he's happy with that.
Oh, is that another change we need to make before we can approve it?
Well, you can approve it noting car 4 instead of car 3. I did not reprint this 200-page document because I still have to change the certification page based on the day that the board approves it. So you guys are going to get the final. That's why I keep sending you the electronic formats to kind of save maybe one tree this year. And he is a chief of the Wasaik. So I do want to note the audience member who made the correction to 4.
So you're ready to have them approved, conditional upon the one change that you recommend?
That'd be nice.
I'll make a motion that we approve the emergency response manual, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
As presented, with the one change noted.
Is there a second?
I second.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prody.
Yes.
So final copies will be made and circulated to all of the involved agencies. Thank you, everybody. Also this evening, I have the vouchers that are ready and have been approved, have been verified by the town clerk's office. The abstract dated June 14th, 2016, which was consisting of 7 pages that were audited and are being presented for payment. Our general fund total was $23,472.76. Highway Fund DA0 in the amount of $2,893.14. Amenia Lighting SL1 in the amount of $2,219.42. Wasake Lighting in the amount of $742.17. Amenia Water in the amount of $4,576.77, for a total amount in the vouchers being presented this month, $33,904.26.
Make a motion that we approve the audited amounts in a total of $33,904.26 for dated June 16, 2016.
Second?
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prody.
Yes.
Thank you. Also to date, I have not received any applications for the open deputy building inspector's position. Would you guys like that to go into the Poughkeepsie Journal, or would you like a second round, or a third round? Millerton News?
He's been functioning for a while without one, right?
Yes.
We haven't
About a
had
year.
one for a while. So when he's gone, what happens? Just Katrina holds down the fort until he's back?
No, she doesn't do inspections.
No, but she keeps the, appointments and the paperwork going. And
Well, yeah, Mike would just do the work.
The main purpose of the deputy was so that way if Mike's ever out of town and there is an emergency over the evening hours or when he's out of town, that deputy gets called. So right now, when Mike is not present and there's a call and 911 is trying to reach somebody, we don't have that alternate on the books.
So right now, he's talking to other building inspectors in other towns to back him up.
Yeah.
So I know he's been talking to Pine Plains and a few other towns, so there will be a backup. But the point of the deputy building inspector is that if, he gets really busy with Silo Ridge moving on, that the deputy building inspector could do the fire inspections and pick up maybe some of the building inspections. But,
I thought we were having a third-party inspector. I'm still not totally clear.
no, the third-party inspector is only for Silo Ridge.
Right. So they'll be handling Silo Ridge, right?
Yes, but there's other things he needs to approve. That's only some of the construction. But he, we can just continue advertising the same way we have.
Okay.
I don't see the point of putting it in the Poughkeepsie
Well,
Journal.
why don't we call back the people that applied 6, 8 months ago? We have a list of them. We could reach out. I think there was 3 or 4 of them on that list.
There was the one other applicant that you interviewed. I'll certainly call him and see if he's still interested and then circulate an email as to what the response was.
I mean,
Okay.
You've already interviewed him,
It's worth a shot.
and he's
I
more
think
than
they
qualified.
should be reasonably local, though, because
He is local.
some of those
He was.
applicants were a ways away.
This one was, the one that
Yeah.
you interviewed was local.
Okay.
I don't know. So if he's watching, I'm going to call you tomorrow.
Yeah, I think just for the 911 backup, it's worth taking our time to fill the
Okay.
position.
But I don't see the point of spending the money of the Poughkeepsie
Right.
Journal. We
Okay.
really want somebody local, if we can
Okay.
get a local
No,
person.
I just want to let everybody know, I'm just trying to get the follow-up and the word out there. So maybe if somebody is watching and has the credentials and is interested, I welcome an email. It's simple, townclerk@ameniany.gov. Also, on June 6th, I circulated to the board correspondences for an application for amendment to a special permit to operate the soil and gravel mining known as Ridgecrest Farms. So I want to let everybody know that the application's in the town clerk's office and also available in the supervisor's office. Also, at the last May meeting, one of the items that was addressed by the board was they scheduled a public hearing for the local law number 1 entitling local law amending the zoning maps of the town of Amenia and correction in the meets and bounds and descriptions of the soil mining overlay zoning district. As Supervisor Perotti announced at the last meeting, we were unable to open that public hearing. When you're posting these, we required the 10 days, and we had Memorial Day weekend in there. So this evening, I'm presenting a resolution to go ahead and re-advertise that exact same document. We just need a new date. If we go ahead with the July 7th, our first meeting in July, you'll meet the requirements of the law for...
Even with the holiday in between?
We have 5 weeks this
Okay.
month, so it buys the time that we needed.
So you need that read?
Do they need to reread the entire document, Denise?
I would.
Okay. So it'll be resolution number 33.
Okay, I'll introduce it. Town Board of the Town of Amenia, Resolution number 33 of 2016. Resolution scheduling a public hearing regarding adoption of local law number 1 of 2016 entitled A Local Law Amending the Zoning Maps of the Town of Amenia and correcting the meets and bounds description of the soil mining overlay zoning district and authorizing publication and posting of notice of public hearing. Whereas on March 17, 2016, by resolution number 13 of 2016, the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, Town Board, introduced local law number 1 of 2016 entitled A Local Law Amending the Zoning Maps of the Town of Amenia and correcting the meets and bounds description of the soil mining overlay zoning district, and whereas pursuant to section 239M of General Municipal Law on March 21, 2016, the town clerk of the Town of Amenia gave written notice to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development of the town board's intention to adopt said law, local law number 1 of 2016. And whereas on March 21, 2016, the town clerk gave written notice to the Town of Amenia Planning Board of the town board's intention to adopt said local law number 1 of 2016. And whereas the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development provided a response pursuant to General Municipal Law Section 239, dated April 14, 2016, a copy of which is annexed hereto, advising that the proposed zoning amendment, which is the subject of the proposed local law number 1 of 2016, is a matter of local concern. And whereas the Town of Amenia Planning Board has not submitted any comments on proposed local law number 1 of 2016 within the time allowed by law. Now, therefore, the Town Board in regular session duly convened does hereby resolve as follows. 1, that a public hearing on the proposed adoption of local law number 1 of 2016 entitled A Local Law Amending the Zoning Maps of the Town of Amenia and correcting the meets and bounds description of the soil mining overlay zoning district be held on July 7, 2016 at 7:00 p.m. at the Town of Amenia Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. And 2, the town clerk is hereby authorized, empowered, and directed to immediately publish a legal notice as to said public hearing in the Millerton News, the official newspaper of the Town of Amenia, and post a copy thereof on the town clerk's official signboard, both in the form annexed hereto. The resolution shall take effect immediately. I'll make that resolution. And
Second.
Seconded by Attorney Perotti.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Also, I think we're going to keep the other 2 items on the agenda as is, or do you want me to go with those resolutions?
You have them?
I do. Also, 2 other items that the supervisors discussed in her report this evening are that we have resolutions tonight for the technical service change order number 6 on the Old Amenia landfill project. So that would be resolution number 34. one's passing down.
Approval of technical services change order number 6 of CT Mail Associates issued on June 9, 2016 on Amenia landfill remediation project. Meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Amenia held at the Amenia Town Hall on the 16th day of June 2016 at 7 p.m. Town Supervisor Victoria Perotti called the meeting to order and made the motion, seconded by.
I'll second it.
Move the following resolution to it, whereas the Town of Amenia has entered into a contract with CT Mail Associates dated June 21st, 2007 to perform certain engineering and technical services on behalf of the town with respect to remediation and closure of the old Amenia landfill located on Route 22 in the town, whereas the fee for the services provided by CT Mail Associates contained in the original contract was $218.76, whereas as a result, previous change orders, the fee for the services provided by CT Mail Associates under the original contract had increased to $1,909,034.98, whereas CT Mail Associates has presented the town board with technical services change order number 6, issued June 6, 2016, pertaining to what CT Mail Associates describes as additional project management and construction administration and oversight services, a copy of which technical services change order number 6 is attached hereto, which more particularly describes such services. Whereas the requested fee increase for the services contained in technical services change order number 6 is $5,142.07. Whereas the approval of technical services change order number 6, in addition to previous approved change orders, would result in an increase of the original contract price to $1,914,177.05, whereas pursuant to the state assistance contract with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC is providing the funding for 75% of the eligible engineer and construction costs on the Old Amenia landfill project. Whereas the town board believes that the additional costs contained in technical service change order number 6 will be eligible for funding under the state assistance contract with DEC, and the town will be responsible for 25% of the additional costs as a result of technical service change order number 6. Whereas the DC has approved the draft technical services change order by email correspondence
Dated June 16.
dated June 16th, a copy of which is attached hereto. Whereas CT Mail has been advising the town about the current status of the Amenia landfill project and certain issues regarding the project's completion. Whereas after consultations with town supervisor and the town's special environmental counsel, Kimberly Shaw Ray of Westerville and Ray, CT Mail Associates has advised the town board of additional services required to be rendered by CT Mail Associates to achieve final completion of the closure of the Amenia landfill project. Whereas the town board is relying upon the engineering expertise of CT Mail Associates and its recommendations that the additional services included in technical service change order number 6 are vital to the completion of the Amenia landfill project. Whereas the town board has reviewed the technical service change order number 6 along with supporting documentation attached thereto, and the approval email correspondence from DEC dated June 16, 2016. Whereas the town board, based on the advice of retained experts and reliance thereon, without adoption of or an agreement with any statements contained in the attached technical service change order, has determined that the additional services provided by or to be provided by CT Mail Associates described in technical services change order number 6 are necessary to achieve the final completion of the Amenia landfill project. Whereas the town board has determined it is in the best interest of the town to approve technical service change order number 6 and to authorize the town supervisor to sign the same. Whereas the approval of a technical service change order is a type 2 action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and therefore is not subject to secret review. Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the town board approves technical services change order number 6 of CT Mail Associates in the amount of $5,142.07. It is hereby further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign technical services change order number 6 in substantial form as attached hereto on behalf of the town. Foregoing resolution was voted on with all councilwomen and councilmen voting as follows.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
No.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Also this evening, we have resolution number 35, a resolution authorizing the issuance of an RFP for the post-construction engineering services at the Amenia landfill.
Okay.
Victoria, I just need the copy that you just, that's mine. Thanks.
Resolution authorizing issuance of RFP for post-construction engineering services at the Amenia landfill. The meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Amenia held at Amenia Town Hall on the 16th day of June 2016. Town Supervisor Victoria Perotti called the meeting to order and made the motion, seconded by,
I'll second it.
offered the following and moved its adoption. Whereas on January 19, 2007, the Town of Amenia, the Town of Sharon, Connecticut, and several non-municipal parties who had previously used the old Amenia landfill entered into order on consent and administrative settlement with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Whereas the consent order set forth the financial obligations of the parties to fund and conduct the investigation and remediation of the landfill. Whereas remedial construction of the landfill remedy has been completed under the supervision of New York State DEC. Whereas the consent order also requires post-construction operation, maintenance, and monitoring, which has been developed and is more specifically described in the New York State DEC-approved site management plan for the landfill. Whereas the site management plan has 2 operation, management, and monitoring components. 1, landscaping and site maintenance services, and 2, professional engineering service for the periodic sampling of the environmental media at the landfill, and includes interpretation and reporting of the results of laboratory analytical data, and periodic inspections and reporting certifications to New York State DEC. Whereas under the terms of the consent order, the Town of Sharon is financially responsible for payment of the cost of OM&M. Whereas the Town of Sharon has already begun performing landscaping services at the landfill and will continue to do so with its municipal employees or contractors. Whereas it is now time to retain a professional engineering firm to provide the engineering-based OM&M services required by the site management plan. Whereas although engineering service or professional service exempt from the public bidding laws, the Town of Amenia, the Town of Sharon consider it prudent and in the best interests of both towns for the Town of Amenia to seek proposals from several qualified engineering firms. Whereas the town's Special Environmental Counsel, Westerly and Ray, has prepared the attached draft request for proposals for engineering services attached here as Exhibit A, and now therefore be it resolved that after consultation with Special Environmental Counsel and subject to the approval of the Town of Sharon Board of Selectmen, the Town Board hereby authorizes the issuance of an RFP in substantially similar form to be approved by the Town Attorney. The foregoing resolution was voted on with all councilpersons voting as follows.
Councilman Hitzberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
And it's just as my last friendly reminder regarding the end of tax season, taxes have been collected and turned over to the county. As I reported last meeting, there were still 131 parcels that were not paid, leaving the town and county taxes with a shortage of $556,045.57. With interest and penalties and additional fees at that time, now the new total will be $584,109.90 that the county at this point will be collecting that incurs a 5% penalty. Every year is always interesting collecting town taxes. And for those residents that may be new to the area or this is the first time you're watching a broadcast, I'd like to let you know that February 28th of 2017, your next set of town and county taxes are due. So I don't want anyone to be surprised when county and town taxes are due. everyone has to pay them. So I want to end tax collection season on a happy note and start thinking about 2017. And it's funny that this past week I've had the opportunity to attend New York State Association of Tax Collectors and Receivers Conference. And you learn about the new laws, the legislative laws that have been enacted and the new bills that they're looking to do. And one of the items that was passed by the Senate as well as the Assembly is authorizing the school districts to determine how taxes are going to be collected. The Association of Towns is standing up for all of the town collectors who are not receivers, and the differences between a Class 1 and a Class 2 town. Here at the town level, I only collect your town taxes, and many call inquiring about school taxes. So here in our town, the town of Dover, town of Northeast, you would contact your respective school districts when you have a question with taxes. If this bill passes, there is a chance that your school taxes could be collected here. The Association of Towns is fighting against that, and I would hope that the governor hears that very loudly, because keeping that job duty out of this office and keeping it where it is, I think, is the best fit for our county. If it happens, the towns will be faced having those additional personnel services. So I just want you guys to know it's coming down the pikes. They are trying to consolidate job duties, and that's just putting more here in the local office.
May I ask a question?
Shh.
I didn't sign it, so.
Is it about taxes? Is that all right, that Mrs. LaValle ask a question?
Yes, if she goes up to the
You
podium.
have to go to the podium.
If the majority of the board approves.
Well, is it all right with everyone else if she asks a
Yeah,
question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay with you?
My name is Sarah LaValle, or Sally, whoever you want to think. We have just a problem. You said your budget is set already. Are you telling me that?
For this year. Oh, you mean my taxes?
That are coming next,
Oh, no, not for 2017, but I want people to know you're going to get a tax bill.
well, we know that.
You know that, but I have people coming in telling me that they don't know that. So I'm just trying to be proactive in letting them know that my legal notice will publish in January, you'll get a bill, but I still have people that walk in and tell me they don't.
My problem is, we had a big surprise when we got our taxes last year with $1,000 more than for our fire taxes, because we live in a town of Wasaig. Okay, now there are many of us that are on incomes that we aren't making the money we did when we were young, and we're on fixed incomes, and there are many of us, there's 3 of us sitting right here. Something really should happen. We're willing to pay our share, but the share was really a lot.
So
this year.
I can briefly answer that question for you. Is what happens is the town board sits down. The process begins in September for the town board. September, October, and then the first week in November, it's the first Thursday after the election on Tuesday, that the board is going to go ahead and adopt the taxes for the town government. What happens is there are some parcels here in the town that have districts. There's the Amenia Fire, Wasaig Fire, there's lighting, there's water. And what happened within each of those districts, those districts design their own budgets, and then those budgets are processed. So the same way that the town board has their rules and procedures and how they enact on passing a budget, so do the fire districts. Similarly to the Amenia Library, when the library added onto your tax bill, they went through the whole election process, and you guys passed that through a course of an election to go ahead and add those additional fees. So this has been a comment that we appreciate hearing. You're among another 100 individuals that have called, come in, visited the town clerk's office. Not only are we getting comments about that, but those that now have made a purchase past March of 2015, they're no longer seeing their STAR exemption. And that was one of the classes that we had a 2.5-hour class on the new STAR exemption to bring us up to par to try to explain it to customers coming in. You will no longer see that exemption on your tax bill. You have to pay your entire tax. And then it was supposed to be in July, you were supposed to receive that rebate after you've received that. You are going to receive, and they showed us an example on the big screen, an IOU letter from New York State. And the new anticipated time of payment is February of 2017.
Okay. My problem is,
Sorry.
I'm just telling you and the fire person here, we old people, older people can't absorb this. We just need to have a fair, we're willing to pay, but it wasn't fair. So I can't get another job to supplement our income. Nobody wants to hire an old woman. So
Just so you know, that we had no jurisdiction over the fire districts. They are a separate entity.
Then where do we go?
I'm going to explain that when we get to that discussion in the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. LaValle. So in return of my conference, I did share with the supervisor that I made the recommendation that speaking with other receivers all over the state, that their assessors had made presentations to the public. And this is a great venue for Wayne to have the opportunity to come in and explain to the board members so you guys understand the new STAR exemption and just get him to let the public understand what's going on. Also during the class, I took an active shooter class that was presented to all of the individuals in the class. And in following up how the supervisor had the citizen preparedness class, I'm going to reach out to the senior investigator from the Albany County Sheriff's Department who taught the active shooter civilian response class and see if we can get something offered here in Dutchess County. He's been to several counties already. So, I mean, there are things that I'm hoping to bring the awareness to the community so we're all prepared in emergency situations. And my last, so I can shut the mic off, just as a reminder, June 22nd, next Tuesday, is the blood drive here at the Amenia Town Hall. As I've been announcing for the past month, the New York Blood Center has announced the emergency blood shortage. It's on Facebook, it's on your Millerton News, it's all over. So if you can afford to spare an hour of your time next Wednesday to donate blood, it is always for a great cause. You never know. My theme has always been because you never know, whether it's for a loved one, recent acts of what's going on in our country. If you can, please donate blood. And if not, to the Amenia Town Hall, anytime you see the sign to donate blood, please do. Done.
All done? Okay, next item on the agenda is the Highway Department report. We are busy preparing roads for blacktop, scheduled for Wednesday, June 22nd, and Thursday, June 23rd on 4 roads. The roads that we will be paving are as follows: LaValle Road, Lincoln Court, Glen Avenue, Little Glen Avenue. We will be doing this with our shared services paver and roller with the help of the town of Dover and the town of Northeast. Butts Hollow Road is scheduled for the week of June 27th, which is being done with the OGS Quick Quote. If you have any questions or concern, please contact me, Stan Whitehead, Highway Superintendent. Are there any other committee reports?
CAC met last night, the 15th of June, and we reviewed the Bulfamonte Hydro geologist report. We looked at the SBA tower, which is being deliberated right now by the ZBA. And we're going to have a letter to the ZBA asking them to please have our radio frequency engineer look at the alternative sites, not just take their word that the alternative sites that have been proposed are not appropriate, don't give the proper coverage, not just take SBA's evaluation as the only alternative. We did review all the photo simulations of where the cell tower would be and how it would look from our scenic roads surrounding Kent Road, Clark Hill Road, South Amenia Road, and it really won't be seen from Wassaic. or cover Wassaic at all. You're already pretty covered according to their plans. We think that they need to have our George Janes expert look carefully at the scenic protection overlay, because it's not real obvious to the average layperson how it falls within or affects the scenic view sheds that are in our zoning law. We looked at we talked about the playground and adding some pathways through the rain garden that was installed by the Housatonic Valley Association through a grant and with a lot of volunteers. That's right outside the playground. It's very nice, and you should take a look at it. It's going very well. They put a ton of gravel into the path. The Baileys gave rocks to do that, and Ian Holback donated a yard of gravel, and a lot of volunteer labor was utilized, including members of the CAC. We noted that Carolyn Clocker is the new person in charge of the 10 Mile River watershed, and she's moving her office to the Maxon Mills from further up Furnace Bank Road to the mill. And we reviewed the new sign that would be placed on South Amenia Road. It'll be a sign that recognizes the incredible Native American artifacts that were collected by our former town historian, Mr. Hoadley, for many years, and is now at the New York State Museum. And it's a very, very important, this was a very, very important Native American hunting grounds where all kinds of regional tribes would come for a major powwow. So we're commemorating that with a long-term sign, thanks to the Pomeroy Foundation and our town historian, Arlene Giuliano. I would just say that I'm really proud of our CAC chair, Dave Reagan. He attended a 7-hour course, a training that was held over at actually Carey Institute, and he is now certified to do macroinvertebrate studies that would help us understand the quality of our streams in Amenia. And he has all the equipment he needs, and the CAC volunteers and anybody else who wants to conduct studies. We can see that going forward. You collect the samples from the streams and send it into DEC in particular testing tubes, and it will come back. They will tell us once they analyze it. The results will come back and tell us what the stream quality is for both fishing and for overall. And it's more, this kind of stream testing is more accurate than any chemical test you can do, because mayflies, for instance, are very sensitive to water quality, and they feel that that's a long-term indication, whereas if you do a chemical, the streams are constantly moving and you wouldn't necessarily get a good snapshot of what the overall quality of that stream is. So we're very proud of Dave getting that certification. Thank you.
Is there any other committee reports? Did you want to talk about the garden club now, or? Gretchen?
The Garden Club of Amenia, which is not a town club, is holding their 18th annual Hidden Gardens of Amenia tour on Saturday, July 2nd from 10 to 4. We'll have 8 different gardens on the tour this year, and we have a new garden, of course. So it should be quite lovely, and we're hoping for good weather. The tickets are $20, and you can pick them up either on Friday, July 1st at the Meet the Gardeners Wine and Cheese Party from 5 to 7 at the Hilltop House Bed and Breakfast. Or you can pick up tickets at the Garden Club's pop-up tent in Town Hall on Saturday, July 2nd. We'll start selling at 9:30. So I hope everybody can turn out and make it. we use every single cent that we raise to buy bulbs, which we give away for free in October to the town, so to the residents of all the hamlets in the town, so they can be planted both on the street side and in your yards, wherever you want to plant them. So it's the one major fundraiser that we hold, and the more people who attend, the more flowers there can be in Amenia. So look forward to seeing you there.
Okay, any other committee reports? Okay, discussion on Amenia Ambulance Service RFP. Starting on October 27, 2015, monthly meetings have been held with the Amenia and Wassaic committees with Dutchess County Emergency Response Commissioner Dana Smith or Dutchess County Emergency Response Coordinator John Mahoney to discuss ambulance services to be provided to the town of Amenia. The town board approved hiring Brad Pinsky to possibly assist the town of Amenia to set up an ambulance district and to do an RFP to be sent to NDP, Mobile Life, or MSTAR, since they are the only companies that have the certificate of need to cover the town of Amenia and Dutchess County. In the course of the meetings, we've looked at RFPs of Newark Valley, Pleasant Valley, and Dover Plains to get an idea of what should be included in the RFPs in order to get a contract to serve the citizens in the town of Amenia. I sent a copy of the insurance requirements that were in the Dover RFP to Byron Barnes, our insurance broker, to see if what was there was adequate for coverage for the town of Amenia contract, and he added additional information so that there would be additional coverage for the town of Amenia. Since the Wassaic and Amenia committees, after meetings with their respective fire departments and commissioners, agreed that the RFP should be for 24/7 ALS coverage, then there was no need to set up an ambulance district. And the amount of the contract can be put in the budget under ambulance line 4540. To offset the cost of the ambulance services contract, the ambulance company will be billing the insurance companies and accepting whatever payment they receive as payment in full. This needs to be done in order to offset the total amount of the contract. We are planning to have a draft RFP in July and then a final one to send out in late July. The tentative budget is not due until September, and the final budget is voted on in November. We were looking into a regional ambulance services possibly with the town of Dover Plains and town of Northeast. However, both Dover Plains and town of Northeast do not want to follow this path at this time. Dutchess County has created a task force to study ambulance services countywide. So that's where we are right now. Brad Pinsky, who is our attorney, is formulating a draft RFP to present to the board to send out to the companies. So we would, for us to get a contract with someone before the tentative budget is due. And I do have one item for other matters. We've been having an ongoing problem with the lights, with the light bulbs on the vintage lights in Wassaic. Because of the vibration from the train tracks, the lights go off. I think there's 3 out right now. Mm-hmm. And I had John Licurdo look at it, and he also contacted a manufacturer. Apparently, we do not have the correct fixture that is supposed to be used for this type of lighting fixture near a train station, which is why we keep having to replace the bulbs because of the vibration. The type bulbs that we have been buying are metal halide light bulbs. That's what's in there now. They're at a cost of $32.18 each. as of, well, 12/20/13, there are probably more now. And that's why we have to keep changing them, because of vibration from the chain. So what I'm being told is that there is a transformer inside the pole itself, and that would have to be bypassed so that the correct wiring could be done to put in an LED light, and also the type light that would be immune to all the vibration and would last a lot longer than the current light bulb that's being used.
These prices are from 2013?
No, just the 3218 of what we've been paying.
So the LED bulbs, which run at $154 each, that's current price?
Yeah, the 1099 for the 7 bulbs, that's how much that would be. And that's not including what they would have to do. I guess you don't do anything with it, the way it was explained to me, you don't do anything with the transformer, you just bypass it, disconnect it, and bypass it, and then just put wiring in there. The wiring that would be, you would have to use the light bulb that's usually used in train stations. Because I know we've spent, a lot of money replacing these bulbs. They don't seem to last very long, I know.
Yeah.
Was the funding coming from the Wassaic Lighting District for this? And is there funding, if so, is there funding in that line for that? Because I thought we only budgeted for the electric.
Yeah, we did.
So how would we be paying for this
Out of our contingency line.
contingency?
It's just a way of, instead of keep replacing the old type bulbs, which aren't appropriate for the lights there and the vibration. And then the lighting would last that much longer being LED.
And they should be more efficient, I would think, as well,
So it
lowering
would be
our electrical costs.
$1,100 for the electrician plus the $1,090 for the bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
And is that it? This 225 here? It's hard to read on the,
Yes.
what's that for? Oh, okay. So it's just going to be $2,183 to do this?
Yes.
And the
pretty much.
manufacturer's saying that we can get 12 hours a day for over 11 years with the new LED bulbs.
Yes.
Say go for it. Sounds like a cost savings.
Do you want to make the motion? Or?
No.
So what cost are we,
You go
1,080?
to a maximum of, because he doesn't know what the shipping and handling is on the 7 LED lights.
So not to exceed $2,500
Something like that would be safe, I would think.
because it's supposed to come in at $2,183.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we agree to retrofit the 7 historic lamps in the center of Wassaic with LED lights and modify them to withstand the vibration from the train at a cost not to exceed in materials and labor $2,500.
Second?
Councilman Hetzelberger,
Aye.
Councilman Delango,
Yes.
Councilman Doyle,
Yes.
Supervisor Prodi,
Yes. Is there any other matters? Anyone have? No. Public comment? None. Town board comments? None? We'll make it-
I would just say one thing if I can find the thing on the change order. There was a lot of language that probably the average person doesn't understand why we're paying the engineering firm for the Old Amenia landfill. Liz Rover CT Mail Associates, an extra $5,000 for the 6th change order. I saw there was some plain language about why it was needed. Here, it's preparation for a meets and bounds description and the revision of the final cover topographic survey and record drawing to include the controlled property area and environmental easement statement, which are required for the environmental easement, and preparation of the EQUIS submission files for submission to the New York State DEC. These are required in order to finalize the closure of the landfill. It's hopefully our last such change order. That's all I have.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
$7:57. Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Aye.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Prody?
Yes.